Well, let's take a look at what is happening in the markets, and we start off with the JSE. And the local bourse has had a good day, and we are seeing the all share trading at record highs or near record highs. We are seeing a sea of green, so the all share up by almost 2/3%. That largely coming from the financial 15 that's climbed more than 1.5%. The resources 10 complex there popping by almost 0.5%, and the industrial 25 eking out gains of more than 0.1%. Let's take a look at what is happening in the US, and of course markets still digesting what is happening on the tariff landscape. And we have had talks from the Trump administration of an easing in car part tariffs for US auto manufacturers. And talking about auto manufacturers, you did have General Motors coming out with its first quarter numbers, beating on analyst estimates in the first quarter, but seeming that they are recalibrating their outlook based on what is happening with tariffs. So we are seeing the S&P 500 up on the day, currently by more than 0.1%. The tech-heavy Nasdaq popping by almost 0.1%, and a climb on the Dow of 0.6%. Let's take a look at the European markets, and we're digesting quite a number of earnings coming out of there. We did have, for example, Europe's largest lender, HSBC, beating on earnings and implementing a $3 billion share buyback. We also did have British oil giant BP coming out with a softer than expected net profit. On that front, of course, we do know that that is amid the strategic reset that they are undergoing, but also the lower oil prices. And we also did have the German sportswear maker Adidas coming out having a great quarter, but the outlook seeming murky there, and saying that they are warning US customers on higher prices because of tariffs. A mixed picture on that front, but mostly green. The FTSE 100 popping by 0.6%. The DAX climbing by more than 0.75%, but backing that trend is the CAC 40 with a decline of almost 0.1%. Let's check in on the currency scene and start off with how the rand is doing against some of the major currencies. The rand remaining relatively flat and quite steady against the US dollar at 18 rand 54, against the pound at 25 rand 86, and against the euro at 21 rand 14. Let's take a look at how the other currency pairs are doing, starting off with the euro dollar at 1.14, pound dollar at 1.34, and the yen just below 143 against the US dollar.